In this video, I'm going to talk about your business currencies and what it means for your construction contract success. So generally, we have three currencies. There are more, but these are the three main currencies that we have as human beings, and it's time, money, and knowledge. And time is the 24 hours in the day. And I believe it was John Maxwell who said, we overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can do in a year. And how true is that? I know I do, where I have a long list of to dos for one day, and I am never able to get through that list. Never able, because I've packed so much into that one day. It's just unrealistic. And money is another currency that we use, and it reflects the value we give to it. Now, as you know, money is a concept created to determine the value of one's contribution to society. Like money, paper money, and coins, these are things that we as humans have developed, and we have given them the value, have ascribed it to them. And we have essentially come together as a collective group of people and decided that this is going to be the currency, it's going to be the value of each, like paper or coin, and we honor that value within our society. And so you will find that typically in society, we determine that if someone is wealthy, they've probably made a large contribution to society. And I'm talking about legitimate wealth. I'm not talking about people who do illegal things to obtain wealth. Knowledge. And knowledge is the use of information wisely. We just don't know what we don't know. And this is a fact. And it's one of the reasons why it is so important for us to get outside views on things, to get an outside view. Because even for me, I can look at someone and I can look at their business and I can give them insights into why something isn't working and what to try. And I do this often with my close friends. They will come to me for business advice, and I will tell them, do this, don't do that, and it works for them. But I am absolutely rubbish at looking at my own business and determining what I need to do or not do. I can do it at a surface level, but it often takes me getting someone who is not connected to me to come in and look at the business and just give me some insights, because you don't know what you don't know. And when you're so close to an issue, you are locked into that philosophy and that paradigm, and sometimes you just can't see beyond the box that you've placed yourself in. And so you need to use your currencies, these three currencies. You need to use one or two of the currencies to acquire the other. So if you are deficient in something, if there is something that you are lacking, if there's something in your business that you need, you use one or two of the other currencies to acquire that thing. And so if time is the currency that you want to acquire, you can use your money and knowledge to acquire it. You can use your money, for example, to hire people to do some of the things that you have on your to-do list that you just seem to never get around to. And if money is the currency you want to acquire, then you can use time and knowledge to acquire that. You can, give someone your time in exchange for money. You can use your knowledge to come up with ideas, strategies, tactics to make money. So that is how you use your currencies in order to acquire the something that you just don't have. And for many construction companies, the ones that we tend to work with, the currency they want to acquire when it comes to their construction contract is knowledge. They want to understand their construction contracts to a deep level, the deepest level possible, where it affects their profit margins and their cash flow. And for many of the construction companies and like the senior um, directors and CEOs who we work with, this is the currency that they want to acquire, why they come to us. And so, if knowledge is the currency you want to acquire, you need to use your money and time to acquire it. That is what it comes down to. If you do not have the knowledge, what do? You find someone who has that knowledge, or you may go to school, you find a course, you find some way to acquire that knowledge. And 9 times out of 10, you are going to have to give something exchange for that knowledge. And it is often money as well as your time. Not only are you spending cash to acquire it, but you have to spend the time as well to, whether it's to find the course, research the course, find the time to study. You have to sacrifice your money and your time. But for a lot of our clients, they don't necessarily have time. They want to spend money to acquire this knowledge. So they want to use one of their resource, not two. So you need knowledge because very few of you have a full in-house team. And I've worked with main contractors who have a full in-house team. And even then, we still had to instruct outside counsel because we may not have the expertise in house. And in most cases, we just didn't have the capacity to deal with it because when you're in a construction organization that has numerous projects, you're being pulled all over, including all the issues, the general corporate issues that are taking place within the organization that you need to deal with. So in those circumstances, you'll find that the organization will pay for the knowledge they need by spending that money by getting outside counsel to come in, and it would save them time and give them the knowledge that they need. So one of the things that we found is that some construction companies try to cut corners. And I've found that it is often after they've attempted to do this on their own that they will seek out someone like me, or that they will seek out a firm like ours, where they try to do the contract negotiations themselves. And this may work for a while. When the contracts are around 250,000, typically I find that contractors will try to do the negotiations themselves, partly because, as you know, in construction, the profit margins are low. And for a project of 250,000, then you don't want to, share too much of that pie. But once the projects and the contracts start getting bigger, hefty in the millions, like a million and up, I find that's when, especially specialist contractors, that's when they start seeking that outside help because the stakes are higher, the risks are higher, and the probability of things going wrong and them losing their profit margins or going into negative because of, numerous changes that are not um, acknowledged by their client or employer. That's when they start looking to see, then how can I acquire this thing that I do not have when it comes to construction contracts? How do I acquire this knowledge? And so they pay the price. When you do that, when you try to cut corners and do the negotiations yourself, you pay the price for it. And this is why I often say that you don't get the profit margins that you want. You get the profit margins that you deserve. You don't get the profits from a project that you want. You get the profits that you deserve. And I see this so much. I've worked with numerous private sector clients and public sector clients, helping them to understand the project life cycle and how the contract and negotiation life cycle, the procurement and contract life cycle works within that, and how to set up a process that ensures that everything is in alignment with their overall goals, and also that they are not compromising on ultimately what they could achieve. Because what you'll find is that to cut corners, the CEO, maybe the one negotiating the contract, amending the contract, reviewing the contract, oftentimes the CEO is absolutely skilled at what they do, whatever they specialize in as a construction firm, but the CEO is not a contract specialist. Or you'll find the project manager being the one doing procurements and contract review and amendment and negotiations. Same. This person may be brilliant at project delivery, but absolutely no skill sets in contract negotiations and drafting. And so you what you'll find is that in many of these cases the contractor will take the contract as is. They'll just sign up to it and keep it stepping because they want this contract. And then it comes back to bite them in the end. Or what what they may do is try to negotiate the contract themselves and get like a half type of situation going where it's not quite what it could be. And I've seen situations where the contract was so poorly amended by the contractor that in the end it made no sense. And they are just knocked back one by one by the client's employers, solicitors. And so you pay the price when you cut corners this way. You get contracts that are not balanced. And if you've been following me for a while now, you know that we practice balanced construction contracts. You get contracts with poor boundaries, and boundaries is exactly what it means. You set boundaries around certain clauses to ensure that you are protecting your profit margins, that you are understanding your risk, that you're laying everything out step by step that you can follow and comply with the contract. And it creates a myriad of profit and cash flow problems for the business. And we see it so many times where um, it's now, let's say, well into delivery, and there's so many issues on the project because of the contract. And that's when the contractor, the specialist contractor, will come to us and say, hey, no, we need help. This isn't working. We need help. But by this time, they have gone through so much stress and so much loss in terms of financial loss that they could have saved themselves all of that had they gotten the help at the beginning. So, why does it happen? It happens for a number of reasons, and we've been exploring it throughout this series and throughout like everything that we do. We explore these issues with you, and a big a big reason why this happens is because for many companies, they do not understand the business currencies concept. They do not understand the three currencies, the three main currencies that you have in business, and how to use and leverage each of them to get what they need. And that part of it, the more I think about it now, is also understanding that need, realizing that you cannot do it on your own. You cannot build a business that turns over 50 million, um, 60 million, 100 million, 150 million, 200 million, 500 million. You cannot build a business like that on your own. And I think at some point, the realization occurs to them, and that's when now you'll find businesses coming to look for, let's find a Patricia. That is absolutely what happens to me sometimes when people reach out to me and they're like, we saw your content, we saw your content, we listened to your podcast, and we're like, let's find a Patricia. We were in the let's find a Patricia phase of our business. When you happen to come on the scene, so, and it's first understanding that need and realizing that you are not going to build the business that you aspire to build if you continue to cut corners, if you continue to view the world like the way you do, in terms of you are going to save every penny by trying to do everything yourself. And we've had quite a few potential clients reach out to us that they are still in that phase of business, and we just have to tell them, you are not ready. You first need to make that mindset shift and realize the three currencies that you have and be ready to use those currencies before you can even contemplate working with someone like us. So the first thing is understanding that the need within your business. And the other thing is to realize the business currencies that you have and to use them, leverage them. Whatever it is that you are missing within your business, use the other one or two currencies to get to acquire that thing. And so, if knowledge in construction contracts is something that you need help with, that you're deficient in, then you are going to need to use one or two of the others to acquire that competency and that knowledge that you really need in order to level up your game in this industry. So, thank you so much for listening and watching me today. Continue to follow this series. It is very interesting. I'm actually enjoying making these videos and sharing these insights with you. If you have any comments, anything you'd like me to address, if there's something that was not clear to you, hop on over to LinkedIn, find me, send me a message, and I will respond to you. And who knows, I will probably make a video about that thing. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.